Good afternoon, this is an Indie Life playing on Radio Brunel and I'm your host Jim Wong. In Indie Life, if you haven't heard it before, it's a show that's taking you to all these kind of music, indie rock, indie pop, indie folk, and it's meant to broaden your music scenes and music taste, to hear some bands that are really big and famous, while some bands that are quite small and independent. What you just heard was a song covered and sang by Oil City Kinks. Oil City Kinks is a local band from Berkshire, and they were formed in 2013 and do covers of Dr. Feelgood, the Kinks, and the Sonic. They played a gig earlier this month at the White Bear in Ruislip. The White Bear is a pub located in Ruislip, and every weekend they've got local bands and local musicians coming in and doing a small performance. On this day, Oil City Kinks came to the White Bear, which wasn't their first time going to the White Bear, and they had a wonderful gig for the people dancing, and they even had their first ever stage diver. I sat down with bass player Charlie Loveday to talk more about his music and what he thinks about Oil City Kinks. Charlie is a 35-year-old performance manager for Scottish and Southern Energy, and he's based in West London Depot in Hayes. He comes from Bracknell, but he actually used to live in Northwood. And so, Mr. Loveday says that Oil City Kinks have been together for 2.5 years, but across those 2.5 years, they've been together a couple of different lineup changes. The current lineup has been together for about a year now.
What drew me to music? Well, a long time ago I used to sing in a church choir. My family's always been very musical. My mum's very musical, so she kind of got us into music. And then when I was at school, I started playing guitar. I got into Nirvana, were probably my first big band, in Nirvana and Oasis, sort of in the Britpop era. Just started playing bass and really enjoyed it with this band at school. And then it kind of went on from there.
Oil City Kinks were formed in Berkshire, and so I was kind of wondering how they all meet. This is what he said.
We all met, I think the drummer and the singer, Chris and Simon, have known each other since they were at school. Mark, the guitarist, started the band, and he knew Simon, and then Simon knew Chris, so they were all together with another guy, and then they were looking for a bass player. So I'd put an advert out on a Musicians Wanted website saying that I was a bass player and looking for a band, and they tapped me up, looked me up and said come down for an audition, which I did, and it was absolutely terrible, but they still took me anyway, and 2.5 years later we're sitting here and just done a good show. So
For all those who don't know, Simon and Chris are named the Suit and Basher. These are quite interesting names, and I wanted to know, how did these names come about?
I don't know. Simon always is quite a snappy dresser, so hence he's the suit, and Basher, I guess, because he plays on the drums.
Oil City Kinks have performed at the White Bear before, and so this is the third time or the fourth time they've been playing at the White Bear, and so I was sort of curious, what is it about the White Bear that draws them back each time?
Well, a friend of mine owns it, which helps, but it's quite a good venue to play because, like I say, I grew up here and a lot of people that I work with live near here, so it's quite nice and local for them all to come down. And I mean, as you've seen, that we've managed to pull quite a big crowd. It's the biggest crowd that we've ever played in front of tonight, and you know, they're all friends and family and stuff, and you know, that's really good, and that's what keeps us coming back, really.
Charlie grew up listening to Nirvana and Oasis, and it's quite, to my opinion, a stark contrast from Dr. Feelgood, and so I really wanted to know how you moved from Nirvana and Oasis to now transitioning to a Dr. Feelgood.
It was through this band, really. I mean, I've always liked all types of music, and rhythm and blues is the base for pretty much all rock and that kind of thing. And all genres of rock and Britpop and grunge and whatever you call it can all be traced back through to the blues and rhythm and blues. And hearing Dr. Feelgood was just, the first time I heard him, I was like, wow, this band are really, really good. I've always been a big fan of the Blues Brothers, and they kind of took it and had a bit of a harder edge to some of their songs. So I recognised some of their songs, but then kind of got into them and the story about them and where they came from in Canvey Island in Essex, and how they kind of became famous, and it just kind of went from there. Really liked music, and that was that. So yeah, it was good.
In the night, we laid down by your fireside. Back in the night, you shook me like a landslide. I nearly missed the early shift, dreaming in the morning about the things we did. Back in the night, back in the night, back in the night, back in the night. Beneath your love light, I woke up on the floor. I asked you for some breakfast, shoved me out the door. I jumped onto the late bus. I've got to smile, I like your style. Put me out this morning, but you know that I'll be back in the night, back in the night, back in the night, back in the night. Beneath your love light. The day dragged by so slow, I feel just like I'm dying. Stop work, whistle blow, and then I start reviving. Across your yard, beneath the stars, I made it through another day, and here we are. Back in the night, back in the night, back in the night, back in the night. Beneath your love light.
And like most bands, they always have the biggest influences. And so I was curious as to what he would consider the biggest influences are.
Ooh, that's a very good question. We've got, I suppose the main one would be Dr. Feelgood, because that's what pulled us all together, really, so that's probably fairly obvious. But we have got lots of other varying different influences. I mean, Mark's very into Northern Soul, as is Simon. Chris, I think, has played in numerous different bands, including jazz bands and sort of 50s kind of rockabilly type bands. And I'm much more into my sort of heavier music, so kind of grunge and heavy metal and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's kind of a real mixed bag, really, but it just seems to work with us.
When asked who he would pick as their ideal audiences, whether they were dead or alive, this is what Charlie had to say.
I would like the original Dr. Feelgood to listen to us perform and see what they thought. Lee Brillo, who unfortunately has passed away, he was the lead singer of Dr. Feelgood. Him and the rest of the band, and the current Dr. Feelgood, who I met when they were touring. They were playing up the road at the Tropic in Ruislip, and I met the band and spoke to the current Dr. Feelgood and told them what we were doing, and they were really keen, and they said, fantastic. So maybe our paths will cross one day.
Maybe indeed.
This is because she does it right.
She walks home.
growth is always an important aspect of becoming a band and a musician. And so I was curious as to what they would see themselves in 2 years' time, because they began playing covers of Dr. Feelgood, but now they're slowly transitioning into original songs. So I was really curious as to what the future held for them.
In 2 years' time, we'll still put covers in because people like to I mean, you've seen tonight, people love to listen to them. People like the old favourites and a couple of things which they know, and then you can hook your songs in and around that, and then, they get to, if they come down to a couple of gigs, they get to know your songs as well, and then, so I think with any band, I go and see quite a lot of bands, and unless they're really, really well known, even the bands that are up and coming will always chuck in one or maybe two cover versions just to kind of get the audience, get the audience going a bit with something that they really know well. So.
What do you think about today's current music industry, and has it changed since you grew up?
Oh, very much so. I mean, when I was growing up, it was grunge and Britpop, and there was still really big, Britpop was massive in this country. There was a real big kind of, it was all in the charts and everything. Whereas now, I mean, rock music as such, or rhythm and blues music, it's not really in the charts. I think with the sort of people being able to download whatever they like, it's very much diluted musical taste, so you can get whatever you want, but I think it's much harder now for bands to really make it absolutely huge. Having said that, I mean, Royal Blood is kind of a rock band, and they've just got a #1 album, so you just never know. I think if you've got good songs that people like, and you get the radio play, then you can make it. But it's much harder, I think, for bands. I follow quite a lot of bands that are really, really good, but they're up and coming, and that they're having to tour to get the sort of word out about them. And a lot of them use social media now. I mean, like Facebook, Twitter. They've got their own websites and YouTube channels and stuff like that. And that's how the music gets out now. The internet is such a massive driver now, rather than pressing CDs or whatever. It's about putting stuff on the internet and getting it out there and trying to go viral, I guess.
That's true.
Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there were winding, and all the lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe Nothing here to see, just a kid like me, trying to cut some teeth, trying to figure it out. Nothing better to do when I'm stuck on you. I'm here trying to figure it out. Getting hard to sleep, blood is in my dreams, love is killing me, trying to figure it out. Nothing better to do when I'm stuck on you. I'm still in here trying to figure it out.
Being a local band, I was curious as to what Oil City Kinks thinks about the local music scene.
I hope it's rising up again. I mean, I think there's a lot more pressure on venues to try and produce, you know, especially with local bands playing original songs. It's very difficult to break into pubs and things because people come to pubs to listen to music that they already know. They want to listen to, you know, a wedding covers band or whatever, you know what I mean, that plays all songs that they know, and that's fine. You know, they want to have a drink and have a good laugh. That's fine. But it's trying to get the balance, you know, and trying to get trying to get you know, bands to break, and it's good that pubs, you know, like this give us an opportunity to, we chuck a few covers in, but it's good to get an opportunity to do some originals as well.
When asked what their biggest challenge so far, Oil City Kinks had this to say.
Getting gigs. It is absolutely getting gigs. You know, we've been ready to go for probably a couple of months now, but it's just trying to find venues which will take, you know, as I said, take bands that play their own stuff and play stuff which is slightly not as well known, you know. So, but we've got a couple of venues now. We've been here. We've played at the Royal British Legion at Pooley Green in Egham as well last week, and we're hopefully going to get a gig in Windsor coming up soon. So, you know, we're starting to get a few more gigs and you know, get on a circuit a bit. So.
I'm gonna tell your man. Needles out of thing out of time. Fell for his ugly place and I fell to the ground. Good listen, I want it, I'm a doctor with pride. Better lock his back door when I got my black bag in my hand. They call me the doctor. With my little bag of tricks. When you're sleeping in his bed, I know what makes you tick. I'm gonna get away with my little bag of tricks. When you're sleeping in his bed, as they call me the doctor. I know what makes you tick. Gonna kill either way with my little bag of tricks. With my little bag of tricks. With my little bag of tricks.
Now, Charlie isn't a young musician. He has family and he has got a job at SSE. And so I was curious, how do they fit in the time to practice?
I mean, I've got a family as well, so I don't really know quite how I do it, to be honest with you. I work long hours, but, you know, you work hard, you've got to play hard, and I love doing this. It's such a good release. You can just, you know, go into a practice room or go to a gig and just literally leave everything at the door, just get into the music, enjoy the music, and that's what it's all about, you know.
What do you think has been the best venue you played at so far?
The best gig that we've played was tonight.
Yeah?
Absolutely, that was the best gig that we played. It was nice to be surrounded by friends and getting up and dancing and having a really good time. You know, it was brilliant. It was really, really good.
Well, I'm a hog for you, baby. I can't get enough of your love. I'm a hog for you, baby. I can't get enough of your love. When I go to sleep at night, you're the only thing I'm dreaming of. One little piggy went to London. One piggy went to Hong Kong. This little piggy's coming over your house. It's gonna rock you all night long.
their gig at the White Bear had their first ever stage diver. I really wanted to know what he thought about this.
That was interesting. He's actually a good friend of mine, but I think he might have had one Jack Daniels too many. But he's a good guy. But yeah, I mean that's the good thing about playing live is that you never know what's going to happen next.
To sort of close off, I was curious as to when an audience goes for their show, I want to know what they would want the audience to leave with.
I want them to leave hot, sweaty, and with a smile on their face.
sit down. Thank you very much.